Hey everybody, this is Ned Talks again with Radeon from Landlord Odyssey, and we're going to be talking about credit cards today and whether or not they help with real estate and how we think about them and whether or not we use them and how we do use them if we do. So,
Yep.
Radeon, credit cards, yes or no?
Oh, yes. Is that
Okay.
it? Is that the end of the video? All right.
Yep,
See you
video
guys.
is over. All right.
All right. So
Um,
let me give you my story, a little bit of a
sure.
background. So when we first came to the States, I was very highly disciplined by my dad when it comes to spending money and especially debt and credit cards.
So you mean like you paid them
He's
off every month and all that other stuff, or
yeah. He kept telling me you got to do this, you got to pay it off each month, never late. It's you keep the credit score, and that's as he was learning. Because we didn't really have that back in our home country. But so my parents got credit cards, and then they added me as a holder of the credit card because I was like 13 years old. I don't think I could have my own.
yeah,
So I think that helped with the longevity of my credit history. So that helped me build credit and have a higher credit score down the line.
yeah.
So that was my start. I didn't have my own credit card, but my name was under my parents' card, so that helped. And then when I got my own card, I started off with one, and then I became obsessed with checking my credit score, and then looking at when to make payments, and then when you look at the credit score, you see all those, like I think it's like the six main variables, credit utilization and payment history and all that other stuff. So I became obsessed with like optimizing all of those. So I did achieve an 800 plus credit score very early on, and as I said before, having my name and my parents' credit cards, that definitely helped with that score. But I got my first, and then it became like a game. I had 10 plus at one point. I was opening cards just to get those bonus points, the cash back and the miles and all that. I was always disciplined, always paid on time, and now I only have one credit card.
What happened, man?
Well, nothing really happened. It kind of became too much, you know, too much to manage. And
Well, what was your peak? Like, how many did you have?
I had 10 plus. I had maybe like 12, something like that.
So what are you gonna do if your card gets canceled? Like, what if like I don't know if it's Amex or Chase or Visa or whatever it is. What if
I
they just
have a
go like we're
Capital
out of
One.
business, we're shutting it down, Capital One's gone.
Well, I just open up a new one. That's
Okay,
not too hard.
okay, that's a good
And
answer.
the only reason I have this one is because, well, it's the Capital One Venture, I think it is. You get double the miles. And
Okay.
I think it's the one where you get the most miles, unless you're like super optimizing. You're doing your groceries with like the Chase Freedom, and then your travel with the other card, and then something else
Oh
with another card. Like
yeah,
I don't want to go
yeah.
through all that. So,
I do all that. I have a different card for every kind of purchase. I do. I have I
all right.
have
So let me hear this.
okay. I've got the Amex. It's called the Amex trifecta. So I've got the Charles Schwab Platinum, um, the Gold card, the Amex Gold, and then I've got the Amex Blue. But I've got a separate Amex Blue for each LLC.
Okay.
And then I have multiple Chase and Visa cards, and I've got a Chase and Visa. No, I mean a Visa card with my bank, and I think it comes at. I just looked at it. I think I have seven or eight, and I'm looking to get two or three more. And I
Mhm.
literally have a vault. Um,
Of credit cards.
I have a vault in the office. And
Okay.
basically, I have a credit card for each bill. So like cable, internet, every single bill you could,
So what's the benefit of that, of
cell
having one per
phone.
bill?
And the reason I do that is each card has its own bill. That way, it's always got activity. So the probability of it getting canceled or shut down is lower. I don't have to worry about, and they're all on auto pay. I know how much those bills are every month, and those are just off to the side. And all those do is bulletproof my. This is my theory. I'm not a credit specialist or anything, but this is just the way I do it. But the theory is like if each of those 10 cards has 12 payments a year, and the way that utilization and your credit score works is if you pay I think if you pay 97% of the time on time,
Hmm.
you could screw up paying one bill per year on one of your 10 cards, and that's only one of 120 payments. So it's
Okay.
under the 3% threshold. So it,
Yep.
in theory, makes my credit score more durable for
Hmm.
mistakes. And the last time my credit score truly got dinged, it was when I was little. My dad was handling it for me or whatever. When I was in college, I wasn't really little. Never been little. I'm 6'4". But
Yeah.
my dad was handling it, and I wasn't really paying attention to it. And suddenly, my credit score went from like 750 to like 590, and I was like,
Oh,
"What
wow.
happened?" And he just was like, "Oh, I forgot to pay, so it's a day late." I'm like, what do you mean it's just a day late? So now I have everything set. But basically, whenever I get a new small bill that I know is going to be happening over and over and over again, I basically get a new credit card and I throw that reoccurring purchase on there,
Hmm.
and that safe. So I really only carry basically I carry three Amexes with me and one Visa just in case they don't take Amex.
Yeah, yeah,
All
yeah.
those all the other stuff goes in the safe, and I literally only see them when I get a new card.
When it's
So
expired or
it's
whatever.
super simplified. I could get rid of all my cards and only carry a Visa,
Hmm.
but the one thing that I do like from a real estate aspect is, and this works specifically with Amex. I don't know if it works with Chase, and this is not tax advice.
Okay.
But when I was doing it, my CPA had advised and told me that basically points don't count as income, right?
Okay.
So if I go do a renovation on a property,
Hmm.
um, let's say I spend 10 grand at Lowe's or whatever with my Lowe's
Yep.
with my Visa, or not my Visa, my Amex Blue there, because I get 2 points per dollar, so I get 20,000 points. Those 20,000 points go into my my points bin. You have a trough, I guess, just
Hmm.
a
And
repository of
what
all
is
your
that? What's the
points.
dollar equivalent of that? Is it like $200 or something like that?
Let's see real quick. So 2,000, so 20,000, the conversion 20,000 times 0.01.
Because from my Capital One,
That's
I
230.
currently have.
That's $230 I get out of my business tax free.
Okay.
In theory.
Yep.
I don't know if they're going to change the rule or if that rule is even still right, but this is how
Mhm.
I do it, and my CPA handles the rest. But that allows me to basically get that money into that points account. And what's neat is I have the Amex Platinum, which then lets me put all the points from all of my real estate spend and all of my normal spend that I'm going to do.
Mhm.
And my Amex Platinum is a Charles Schwab Platinum. So all
Okay.
those points go into my retirement account and they get invested.
Oh, okay. Didn't know about that.
Yeah. So that lets me
Didn't do
use
that.
all the spending I'm going to do anyway to
Mhm.
also fund a side investment account.
And then a question about the retirement account. Is that just like a Roth or is it just
No,
directly?
I just throw them into index funds. I
Okay.
should probably have it in a Roth. Honestly, right now it's only a
Do you
couple.
not have a Roth?
I don't have any retirement account except for the 401k I get with my job.
Okay.
So, um, but yeah, I mean, right now my returns on my properties are you couldn't even touch them with stocks. They're
Yeah, 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 for
so
sure.
yeah, I don't see why I would do that, but I do have the 401k from the company because they match me. So
Hmm.
making
Okay.
100%.
Yeah, I have that as well. So I
So
had a Roth as well. However, I just pulled everything out of there and just put it towards real estate. And then
yeah.
I still have a 401k for my job because they have a match. So that's pretty much all I have. Yeah.
Yeah, they have a weird policy at our company where the only way to get a control of your 401k or move it around is if you leave the company. And so during COVID, when I was like, I want to take all of this and put it into a new property, they're like, well, you can't have it because you still work here. And I was like, can I quit for a day
And then come back.
and then come back? Just because this is like one more investment property. And I
Mhm.
didn't do that. So you don't
Okay.
do the points or the churning and optimizing with all, like, because I have a car that I use for groceries, and one I use for normal spend, one I use for travel and hotels, and one I use obviously for shuffling into the investment accounts. You don't do
Yeah.
anything like
So
that?
yeah, I don't do that anymore. So like I said, I was doing it before. And just to be clear, if you want to get the most out of your money, that's the way to do it, you know.
Yeah.
But just for simplicity's sake and just for focusing on just one thing and not spending any time, and I'm sure once you spend that initial time to set these credit cards up, then you're not really spend as
Yeah.
much time to take care of that. But just wanted to make it simple for myself and just have one credit card, one debit card. And now, speaking of the LLCs that you mentioned, I will open up an LLC, a property management company for my real estate investing business. And I think I will need to open up a card for that just to keep things separate. But I think that's as far as it's going to go.
Well, I mean, that's another thing that I do it for because it keeps things organized. I have a
Yep.
card per property. So when I do stuff for that property, it goes in that card. And at the end of the year, when I want to figure out what the expenses were, I just open the account and it's all
Yeah.
there.
Just look
It's
at
organized.
the
Yeah.
year end and that's it. Yeah.
I need to get better with receipts though.
Yeah.
That's the
So
hard one.
what would you say is the hardest thing when it comes to doing this whatever we want to call it, credit card churning or whatever
Uh,
else?
I think a big part of it is just keeping track. Thankfully, a lot of my cards, depending on what they're used for, are certain colors, and the colors have stayed the same. So I know
Oh, nice.
platinum, it's the only silver card I have. I use it for travel, which means it's never in my wallet. So I pretty much don't have that with me because I don't need it for. I don't need a hotel or an airplane on a daily basis.
Yep.
I have a gold one, and if I'm going out to eat, or I'm getting groceries, that's what I use. Or I'm at a bar. If you're at like a food facility, gets a little confusing when you go to like or if you're at Bucky's or some kind of gas station. If you're buying food, that
Mm.
probably doesn't count. You know, I've never
Yeah.
looked into that. And
Okay.
then if you buy any normal, just things that aren't optimized for points, I use the blue card because that gives you 2 points, whereas
Double points, yeah.
everything else just gives you one. But the cap on that is 50,000 and spend per year, which probably not going to do. And then I have a different blue card for each LLC.
Okay.
And so they're kind of color coded, which is nice. For a long time, I had those like labels stuck on the back of each card. So I was like, what's this one
Oh,
for?
okay.
Flip it over and go like, oh, okay. And it would just say like food or you know,
I
whatever it was
see.
for. Um, and obviously, like, have you ever had any? I've only had a couple of times in my life where I let my credit cards get bounces on them for like 1.5 months, and then I pay them off.
Yeah, so it's happened to me where I was late, but that was mainly just a mistake. It's not like I didn't have money to
Yeah.
pay it off. And then as soon as I see that happening, I just call them immediately, tell them, please remove this. I don't want to pay it, etc. And then my payment history has been always 100%, 20
Yeah.
plus years that I've had cards. So
Oh yeah, you should 100%. If you think you're gonna get dinged because you paid like a day late, give them a call.
yeah,
If you
yeah,
don't call
definitely.
them, you're getting a ding, but it doesn't hurt
Yep.
to ask.
Hmm.
So is your credit score suffered because you've reduced your cards, or you think you're because you've got properties now, is it kind of holding it up, or
So when I because when I had all of these credit cards, I closed them one after the other, right? So that dinged it a little bit. But for anyone that knows at least a little bit about credit cards, you know that it's moving up and down all the time, right? Depending
yeah,
on what you're doing, the credit score. So it did go down initially, but now it's in the low 800s,
yeah,
and it did go under 800 for the past couple of months because I was doing some shopping for real estate just for different loans, and that brought it down a little bit. And then my utilization, because I just pay it off once a month, right?
what's the
No
time
matter how
window when
much
you're
it is.
shopping? Is it 30 days or is it 45 days where you got to go and you get all your quotes and all your loans from all the different sources, and then they only count as one inquiry, I believe?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
something
So
like
I
that.
did
You'll
that.
have to
I
look
think
into that.
it's some people say it's 2 weeks, some say it's like a month, but yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I just always do it within a week just to be sure. So
So do you think it's worth it? I mean, obviously you don't do it anymore, but do you think it was worth getting your credit? Do you think the journey you took to where you are now was worth it, or do you think you would have gone about it
it was
differently?
definitely worth it because I learned about all of these, and then now I know, what's good and what's bad, and how to
Yeah.
manage credit cards. And it's worth it for someone that wants to have that initial learning period. You got to learn a little bit, about how to
Yeah.
manage this, but then, it should be smooth sailing from there. For me personally, I just thought that, I just want to keep it simple and not worry about this. Just have one card and, forget about it. But it's definitely not
Yeah.
the optimized economic move. That's for sure.
Yeah. I think it's initially hard, and then once you get used to it, it becomes more worth it. It's complicated, but I've put thousands and thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars into my retirement account. Uh,
Yeah.
through this method over the last 5, 6, 7 years, or however long I've been doing it.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, for sure. So that's definitely worth it. But if you're not disciplined, if you're like one of those people that,
oh yeah, if you're not
always-
disciplined, don't even try.
don't even try this. Don't even probably I would say don't even get a credit card. Well, I would say just have one, but try to be disciplined with that one. But if
Yeah,
you're like totally bad with credit cards, then just forget credit cards. Just use a debit
yeah,
card.
yeah. I agree. So I mean, that's kind of what we think about credit cards and how they've helped us on our journey. So everybody, give us a like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content. You feel like we gave you value. Give Radion a subscribe as well. Go over and check out his channel, Landlord Odyssey. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Have a good day.